Friday! Happy Friday! Oh my gosh, I hope everyone's having a great day! Hi! Hello! Hi! Special story time today! I know I would I know I was, you know, I was thinking, I know we had a story time. I was thinking we do another one. We do another one today. Good morning, Nicholas! Hi! Welcome to the stream. Thank you for being here. Okay, so I was thinking we do another story time this week because I was sick. I was sick the last week. I promise we're gonna finish it. I promise. Spaghetti. Yeah! We are doing creepypastas. Or how I like to call them, spooky spaghettis. Spooky spaghettis. That's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna be reading. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be so exciting. Okay, just making sure everything is working. Is everything working? Is everything working? I hope so. I hope so. I really hope so. Okay. Today. So today we're gonna be reading creepypastas. We're gonna be reading creepypastas today. It's gonna be so much fun. It's gonna be so much fun. We got some. I got the website up. So we're gonna. Wait a second. What? Wait. Hold on. Can everyone hear me okay? Is everything okay? Is everything moving? Is everything working? Hold on. Cause something looks like it's broken over here. Hold on. Hold on. Everything's breaking already. How? Wait, how? Hold on. Guys, is everything working? Is everything lagging? Can you guys hear me okay? Is everything working? I'm getting a pop-up notification. Hold on. Is everything okay. I think I fixed everything. Hold on. Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna let it be because I have no idea. It's just gonna be. Hi, Karen. Hi, Tara. Hi. I'm so glad you guys are here. Joe, hi. Hi. Yeah. Everything's breaking. Oh no. Wait. Okay. I think everything's good. I think everything's good now. I had to do some updates. Before I set everything up, so everything might be a little broken. And it's gonna be fun. I have the window open. I hope everything. I hope everything is working. Okay. So yeah, we're just gonna get into it today because I'm really excited. I'm really excited. I love creepypastas. I don't know about you guys. I love creepypastas. I basically grew up with them, and they're so fun. I love them. Oh no, the video is lagging. Oh no, I don't know why. I don't know why. Hold on, wait. I don't know why. Hold on. Oh no. Hold on, wait. Maybe there's too much happening. Hold on, maybe there's too much happening. Hold on. I don't know. What to do. Hold on. Hold on. I don't know how to fix this. Oh no. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna fix some background stuff. Hold on. I'm gonna fix some background things. Hold on. I don't know why. No. You guys, I'm trying to fix everything and everything's broken. I don't. nope, nope, try not that, that, yes, that, there, this, there. No, no, no. Ah! Ah! I'm breaking everything. Hold on, because things got updated and everything is all broke. Everything's breaking. Oh no, oh no. Hold on. Oh no. Oh no. Is it still bad? Is everything still bad? Oh. I promise I didn't change anything. I swear everything's breaking. Oh no. Okay, wait, hold on. I'm gonna try to restart OBS and see how that happens. So if I disappear, just be patient. I'll be right back. Okay? Okay. Give me one. Hello? Are we back? Is it working? Am I back? I don't. Is everything working again? Oh no. Guys, I need your help in chat, please. Let me know if everything's working again. Please. Pretty please. Okay. It seems okay, okay? Does it seem okay? Is it okay? Because I just restarted everything. Yay! Yay! Okay! Yay! Everything's working again! Yay! I had to restart everything. You can. Wait, how? Wait, hold on. Wait, how? Wait, hold on. Wait, how? Wait, how? Hold on, cause I can't. Everything is still laggy on my end. I can't really. Embarrassing. Everything is breaking again. No. How? Wait, how? Wait. Like, you can see my, can you see my OBS? Wait, you shouldn't be able to see my OBS. Wait, hold on, wait. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on once. Everything's breaking. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna do something drastic. Okay. I think I'm back. Okay. Is everything working? Okay. Is everything fixed? Is everything working? Is everything not broken again? Is everything good? Is everything all right? Is everything good? Is everything fixed? Please tell me. I'm gonna cry if everything's broken again. Is everything okay? Is everything good? Okay. Nothing weird is showing. Nothing weird is showing. All you see is my VTuber, my VTube model. Is everything okay? Yay! Tora, thank you, Tora. Mwah! Thank you. You're a great help. Joe, thank you too. Mwah, mwah, mwah. You're so awesome. You're such a great friend. Thank you. You guys, thank you for helping. Okay, you know lag? Okay, so I'm gonna take advantage of it and we can start reading. Okay. Yeah, Tora, you get kisses. Tora. Mwah, mwah, mwah. You get a bunch of them. Because you're my friend. You're my good friend. You're a good friend. You get all the kisses. All my friends get kisses. All of you get the kisses. Mwah! Okay. So I think everything is fixed. I think everything is not broken. I'm gonna take a deep breath. And we're gonna see what creepypastas we got. Let's see. Let's go for some top ranked creepypastas. I have this website open. Oh, thanks, Joelle. I always enjoy hanging out with you, my friend. You're my good friend, and I love you. I always enjoy hanging out with you. I know you've been super busy. I know you've been super busy with work and stuff, and I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. You're doing a great job. Let's see. We got some. Ooh. I found some. Ooh, I think this one just came out today as well. Hold on. Let's see. Let's open it. Let's open it in a new tab. That way we don't lose the page. My internet's a little iffy today too. I'm surprised. Usually it's pretty decent, but it's not the greatest today. Cool, we found one. Alright. And this one's pretty highly rated too. 10 out of 10. I hope it's really worth it. I hope it's worth the rating. It's called The Back Roads by Paige Turner. Ha. I see what they did there. Okay, I'm gonna start reading. You guys ready? Okay. Alright, Thursday. Today is Thursday, June 16th, 2022, and I don't know where I am. I'm parked on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere, and I'm not even sure this is still Louisiana. I haven't had a bar of service all day, and I've been driving for 9 hours. The only thing I want to do is sleep, but I'm afraid to close my eyes. Staring at this screen is only making it worse, but I need a distraction. None of this makes sense. My house is a 30-minute drive to town if you take the highway, but in any other direction, you can ride the back roads for hours. Most aren't even on the map. When I was younger, Mom would take me riding on summer evenings, and we always found new routes to explore. That's how I learned to drive, and after getting my license, I started going more often. Sometimes I would bring friends, but for the most part it's something I enjoy doing alone, especially after Mom died. She was killed by a drunk driver 6 years ago. I've never seen a house or more than a handful of other vehicles out here. It's perfect for camping. I've stayed overnight more times than I can count and always felt perfectly safe. It's almost like being the only person in the world. Only difference with this trip was that damn tunnel. Life has been hard lately, and only having one job on the books doesn't help. There was nothing on this wedding's menu that could be cooked the day before, so instead of doing anything productive, I convinced myself to go for a drive, which was clearly a mistake. There's a beautiful, crystal clear pond that became my go-to place for quick trips or days I brought someone along. It's not very far, and I know every road in between. Or I thought I did. Leaving the pond, there should only be 2 ways to go, back home or further into nowhere. But then I saw a third option. While turning the truck around, I found myself staring at a paved road behind the tree line. While it's understandable to miss when driving past, I've been to that pond 1,000 times, and always turn around in the same place. This shouldn't have been my first time seeing it, but I was too excited to think of more. A closer look revealed that only shrubs and weeds blocked the view. So I decided to drive straight through. A new path so close to home was too big of a deal to pass up. Of course, that feels incredibly ignorant to say now. I got through the brush easily, and after a mile it cleared up again. Within 6 months after that, I knew it was time to turn back. That's when I finally saw the end of the road. Ahead it was an overpass with what looked like an old train track. And what I thought was a dead end was actually a tunnel running beneath it. At first it looked too small to drive through. I only wanted to get my headlights close enough to see inside, but then the road did keep going, and I could see daylight at the other end. The tunnel itself was damp. The air smelled musty, but it was completely empty. When I came out of the other side, the road stretched ahead for miles with the occasional turnoffs on both sides. It should have been impossible to get lost by going straight. I should have been able to turn around at any point and drive directly back to the pond. I still don't understand why it isn't the case. I had hoped to find a landmark to use on the next visit, but after an hour of nothing but random cutoffs, I realized that I realized how late it was and finally turned back. Everything looked exactly the same as far as I could tell. I have no clue where I went wrong, but an hour and a half later I was still cruising with no sign of the tunnel. If anything, I was driving even faster than before. It doesn't make any damn sense. I drove for another 30 minutes before stopping completely. I had to pee, and needed time to think without wondering if I was heading even further away from home. If I had made a single turn, I could believe being lost, but the idea of turning back after driving into a straight line felt unnatural. It would mean hours of retracing my steps only to turn around again when that didn't work. How many hours would be wasted covering the same ground? But then there is no choice because something is obviously wrong. It's maddening. I'm still stuck in that hellish thought loop, but I couldn't just stay on the side of the road. In the end, I turned around once again, this time going much, much slower. The only way I could imagine getting lost if the road had split somewhere when I wasn't paying attention. I came to a rolling stop at every turnoff, and even got out a few times, but there was absolutely no chance I merged off any of them. By the time I made it back to my original stopping point, the sun was starting to set, and my brain fed me whatever I needed to hear to avoid turning back a third time. I figured Mom and I had only been able to spend so much time on back roads because we took the small, curving trails that never really led to anywhere. Now I was traveling in a straight line. It had to lead somewhere. All I needed to do was make it to the next town. Or maybe not even that far if I could spot or if I could get All I needed to do was make it to the next town. Or maybe not even that far if I could find a spot with cell service. But now it's almost midnight, and I've stopped because the road suddenly ended. Or at least the pavement did. There's nothing but a long dusty trail left, and there's no chance of finding a signal that way. I need to wait for morning and check out some of the cutoffs. Nothing about the Friday. I wonder if I've been reported missing. I'm sure I have. How could I not be? Surely the back roads are the first place to look, right? I'm sure it is. Sweet fire shits, I thought I was going to die last night. I was lying across the back seat, writing, when I heard something moving around the forest. I assumed it was an animal until it broke through the tree line. An unmistakable sound of shoes scraping against concrete made me drop the phone. There was a half-second of euphoric relief of imagining myself being rescued by a kindly old farmer before my body went numb with dread. People volunteering with search parties didn't wander through the woods alone at night without flashlights. This person hadn't even driven either. I would have heard an engine. I didn't know what the hell to do. My first instinct was to jump in the driver's seat and run for it, but then I imagined bullets flying through the windows. It seemed reasonable to think a person skulking through a dark forest would be armed. I wanted my pistol from the glove compartment more than anything, but my arms refused to obey. The footsteps were moving slowly, like someone was checking out my truck, and when they turned to walk along the passenger side, my body finally moved. Without the phone's light, it was too dark to see anything, but as I slowly inched forward, the footsteps paused next to the front passenger door, and my heart stopped along with them. I hesitated, with my hand on the glove compartment handle, wondering if the light would come on when I realized something that shot chills down my spine. I hadn't locked the doors after using the bathroom. Instead of fumbling for the controls, I felt for the knob and gently pushed it down. The same instant, the dull thud of the locked handle being pulled broke the night silence like a gunshot, and there was no further caution in my movements. I ripped open the glove compartment, grabbed my gun, and racked one into the chamber as the sound of several footsteps fled back into the forest. There had been nothing to indicate multiple people were outside, but there was no mistaking it now. Feet were skidding across the pavement as others were already tearing through the thick brush, and I threw myself into the driver's seat. The headlights came on in time to reveal that last two figures vanished into the darkness. I was in tears with relief over the fact that I had turned around before parking, and it wasn't because of forethought, but fear. Just looking at that long dirt road made my stomach clench. As for the group of crazies, I don't know. It might be time to entertain the possibility that I'm the one that's crazy. I only caught a quick glimpse as I sped away, but those people resembled terminal cancer patients with animalistic movements. They were sickly thin and hunched over like gorillas, but moved with deceptive speed. Thanks to the adrenaline, I was wide awake and traveling faster than I should have been, but I wanted as much distance between myself and those people as possible. After driving a few miles, my brain slowly began formulating coherent thoughts again. I think it's safe to say my new friends don't have motorized transportation, but I drove for almost an hour before stopping. If I didn't close my eyes, I was going to fall asleep at the wheel. And, if I wreck, I'm dead. There were 3 hours before dawn, so I set an alarm, passed out, and was somehow still alive when it sounded. I woke to a foggy morning, and the long road ahead served as a bleak reminder of my situation. Mother Nature called, and I was starving, but luckily there was a few basic supplies in the truck. After eating 2 power bars, I somehow managed to stick with water instead of downing the bottle of whiskey, and thank goodness, or I wouldn't have it now. The shit I've seen today is enough to make that gun look mighty appetizing. All goddamn day I kept driving straight down that same road, the way I should have been going the first place. I didn't care if it took 12 hours to find the next town. I wasn't going to start turning down a bunch of random roads that could take me in circles. By 9 o'clock, I had seen nothing but trees and grassy clearings. My stomach was growling louder than my music, and I was barely containing my anger when a familiar beeping sent me soaring over the edge. When I finally regained a modicum of control, my throat was raw and my face looked as red as it felt. The gaslight was on, and the possibility of dying out here became very real, very fast. When I came around the next curve, I thought I was hallucinating. A small gas station suddenly appeared in the distance, but there was no way I had driven farther than yesterday, and I definitely hadn't passed it without noticing. As I came closer, my heart sank when I realized it was abandoned. There was no other cars, lights, or signs, just old pumps and a dark store. I parked anyway, just to think for a minute, and continued to be surprised. The building looked as if it hadn't been touched in 20 years, yet the pumps looked as if they were installed last week. I got out to stretch my legs, and the one next to me turned on, including its TV. It shouldn't have been possible, but it hardly matters in this place. Whether I was hallucinating or not, I wasn't going to waste the opportunity. Even more astonishing is the fact that it worked. Even more astonishing. I got tongue-tied. Excuse me. Even more astonishing than the fact that it worked was the woman on TV. She was giving a local news and weather report like what you would see in a normal gas station. It's a beautiful sunny day on the paved back roads. The last of the morning's fog will be clearing up shortly, and we'll have a high of 98 this afternoon. Those transitioning to dirt roads should show due caution as we had significant rise in stranded sightings. Thank you for choosing Last Stop Station. Until next time, safe travels. I didn't understand half of what she said, and there was plenty more I can't remember. If I find another one, I'm going to have my phone ready to record. Thank goodness I have a car charger, or I wouldn't even have that by now. After refueling, I decided to take a look at the store. It was completely out of food, and on my last bottle of water, I would have taken anything that wasn't poisonous. But I was shocked to find water, soups, and canned fruit, simply there for the taking. While those were fully stocked, there was no stack of foods. There were no snack foods, soft drinks, or random accessories. If the canned sell-by dates weren't so recent, I would think that stuff has sat there for years. Hi, Jack. Good morning. Don't worry, you're only a little late. You're only a little late, but don't worry about it because everything had broke right in the beginning. So you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. I'm gonna take a sip of water. Wait, hold on. My water bottle's so far away. I'm gonna take a sip of water real quick. Gotta hydrate. Okay, let me continue. Okay. Okay. There was nowhere to cook the soup, no phone, and no cash to register either. Everything about that store was just off. But as strange as it was, I didn't want to leave. It was nice to finally stretch my legs and to be out of the truck longer than a bathroom break. Unfortunately, I couldn't afford to waste time hanging out in an abandoned gas station. In the end, I compromised by staying long enough to eat. I tried not to pin my hopes on someone else stopping by, but I found myself watching the road more than I cared to admit. My original idea was to find a makeshift pot and build a fire, but then I remembered some of my camping gear was still in the truck. With my hot plate, the only hard part was opening the cans with a dull pocket knife. As expected, no one came, but I couldn't waste any more time there. At that point, I expected to spend the rest of my day on the road and convince myself to take some supplies Before I knew it, I robbed the place blind, and I hope the police come looking. They won't, but I can dream. I feel better with a full meal on my stomach and a truck full of free supplies, but it's hard to keep a cool head when you're coming up on your second night of being lost in the middle of nowhere. I eventually drove straight into the sunset until once again I'm being forced to a sudden stop when the pavement ended. The way forward is yet another long, dusty trail, and this one inspired the same cold dread as last night. Logic told me the weird, pale people couldn't be way out there, too, but I wasn't taking any chances. I turned back and drove for another hour before stopping for the night. After eating a can of peaches, I started writing, and now I can't stop thinking about that lady on the little TV. She was talking about these roads like they were their own town or something, and I wanted to hear that part about being stranded again. Maybe I'm not the only one who's had this happen. Either way, I've had enough for one day. I need more than a few hours of sleep. Staying on this road isn't an option anymore. Tomorrow, I need to choose one of the cutoffs. Saturday. There's no question. I'm not in Louisiana anymore. I'm not even in the real world. I met someone this afternoon. I don't think he's real. He's either a hallucination or a demon. I'm just not sure which. I had essentially chosen a cutoff at random when I couldn't find the gas station again, and 20 miles later there was a man walking along the shoulder. I was almost too afraid to stop, but he got on his knees in the middle of the road, begging. In the end, I need someone to talk to more than I cared about the possibility of being murdered. He claims to know a little about what's going on here, and though his story is completely unbelievable, I can't come up with an alternative. He doesn't know how or why things are the way they are, but he got here by driving through the tunnel just like I did, except he was in Pennsylvania. If he hadn't told his story first, I wouldn't have believed him. It sounded too much like my own. The only difference is what happened after he ran out of gas. Since he started a quarter tank, he had no idea anything was wrong yet. A service station appeared around the next curve, exactly as it had for me, and based on his description, it sounded like the same one. The pump's TV came on, and after a brief weather report, there was another confusing public service announcement. And don't forget to stock up for tomorrow. As usual, our stations will be closed for Sunday. No exceptions. Please ensure all persons are cleared from the premises by no later than 11:59 p.m. And thank you for choosing Last Stop Station. Until next time, safe travels. After filling his tank, he went inside to find a nearly empty store, and only then realized there were no other cars or people in sight. Since the pump worked, he reasoned the store must be open and worried something may have happened to the clerk. Rob went outside to search for a signal, and when he was unsuccessful, he noticed the store was at the bottom of a steep rise. There was no trail, but he was able to make it up fairly easily. Unfortunately, he still couldn't get reception. Determined to drive back to his town, he made his way down the slope, only to find the store and his car gone. He swears he walked a straight line and found the road easily, but it was empty. If it weren't for my own experiences the last few days, I couldn't have believed it. But now I definitely do, assuming Rob is actually real, of course. He had no choice but to start walking, and he headed in the direction he believed would take him to town. Several hours later, he still hadn't seen another car or store, and the sun was beginning to set. That's when he ran into Bonnie and Clyde. At least, that's what they called themselves. They were stopped at their own gas station, and Rob ran straight inside to tell the story, but the couple didn't want to hear it. Clyde held Rob at gunpoint while Bonnie loaded their van. The couple wouldn't give him a ride, but the man was willing to answer a few questions while he waited. Based on what this guy told Rob, there were 3 stages to the back roads, each more dangerous than the last. The paved streets are the outskirts and make up stage 1. The dirt roads are stage 2 and lead deeper into the maze, while stage 3 is tire tracks in the grass in the heart of the maze. The entrance can be found almost anywhere in the world if you venture deep enough to nowhere, but the exit can only be found in stage 3. Gas stations only appear when a vehicle is low on fuel, and they disappear the moment you leave. Had Rob climbed the hill before filling his tank, he would still have a car. Thank goodness I have the camping gear, or I'd have made the same mistake when trying to heat up my soup. The only exception to this rule is Sunday. If you run out of fuel while the store is closed, you have to sit there until it reopens. Anything that was inside when it disappeared will still be there except for people. We don't know what happens to them, but Clyde said there used to be 4 people in their group. The other two decided to see where the place went when it disappeared, but when it came back, only their bags and clothes were left behind. The store supposedly had beer and junk food in Stage 2, and that alone had me interested. I finished my whiskey last night, and I don't think I can handle this place sober. I would already be on my way now if it weren't past midnight. Compared to these last two stages, the paved streets are fairly safe until the transition to dirt, and that's where the stranded like to lurk, and what Rob was on his way to becoming before I found him. The ones who lost their vehicles can't make gas stations appear and eventually turn into the forest for shelter. They hide deep in the dark woods during the day, and only come out at night. The lucky are able to join an existing group or form their own. They need enough members to ambush travelers, but not too many to feed. Those who are rejected get eaten, and those who try to survive alone, starve. Eventually they begin to look like the ones I saw, and I had been asleep with my doors unlocked, I would have become their dinner. As for Stage 2 itself, Rob only knows that something hunts the roads at night. When he asked Cloud about the final stage, the man went as white as a sheet and refused to answer any more questions. As the couple got back into their vehicle, they apologized for their drastic behavior, stating they simply couldn't risk taking on a stranger. Rob is bitter about it, but I don't blame them. If I hadn't been alone and desperate, I would never have stopped. From what it sounded like, people are trying to find the exit in Stage 3. And the ones who survive the failure resolve to a life on the paved streets. I've been thinking about it all evening, and I would rather die than live the rest of my life out here. The fact that I don't want to spend 6 days a week inside a gas station upset Rob pretty bad. We argued for 3 solid hours until I pretended to agree with him. He repeated his same argument with slightly different wording, like I simply was too stupid to understand. I was sick of it, but more importantly, I was starting to suspect Rob would crack me over the head and steal the truck if he didn't get his way. Since the station would be closed tomorrow, I made sure to run out of gas this evening. I told Rob 3 times to let me get my phone ready before he got out, but the bastard didn't listen. Before I could put the truck in the park, he jumped out and rushed into the store. I heard the TV start in the second his door was open. He was completely oblivious. I panicked and missed whatever he was saying while fumbling with my phone. The only part I got recorded was the "until next time, stay safe travels" bullshit. I'm grateful for the information Rob has shared, but I've decided to go ahead alone. I wish I would have thought to leave him at the station this evening, but I can't waste another day waiting for them to reopen. I don't feel safe sleeping while he's around. Tomorrow morning, when he uses the bathroom, I'll just drive away. I don't know what else to do. For now, he's either asleep in the backseat or really good at fake snoring. My instincts are screaming for me to stay awake, but I feel like someone poured salt into my eyes, and staring at the screen is only making them worse. I need to find another way to keep myself up. Sunday. Rob is dead. I was right about that bastard. Have you ever noticed how crazy ideas sound less crazy in the dark? I kept imagining Rob in the back seat, awake and waiting for me to fall asleep. Then he would sit up, put his belt around my neck, and pull. It bothered me so much I decided to retrieve my gun. I kept it beneath my leg until dawn and tucked it into my waistband when it was finally time for breakfast. Rob snored the entire night, and as I entered the forest to relieve myself, I was feeling fairly foolish. No shit the man is afraid of going deeper into this hellhole. If I'm this terrified, how must he feel after what he's been through? I'm the monster, walking around with a gun and planning to leave a man for dead just because he disagreed with me. I was fully convinced to abandon my cruel plan until I returned to see Rob in the driver's seat. The passenger window was down, so I had a perfect view of him from the tree line. He was frantically searching for the keys, which were tucked securely in my pocket. I didn't know what he might do if I confronted, so I made plenty of noise going back through the last of the bush. When I made it to the truck, he was opening a can of fruit like he hadn't just been trying to leave me behind. I made soup, but avoided taking anything vital out of the truck. I planned to leave him some food and water, but I was ready to take off as soon as he stepped away. Only he didn't go. We were both waiting for the others to let down their guard, but Rob lost his patience. He revealed the crowbar he stashed nearby and calmly explained that I would be staying behind since I'm determined to kill myself anyway. My mind went blank. It was one thing to imagine it, but it's nothing like reality. I was calm and steady as I told him to take the truck. I even threw the keys to him. There was no thought behind it, only instinct. When he turned to walk away, I drew my weapon and fired without warning. The first shot went into the center of his back, and he made a horrible sound as he fell. I hurried closer but hesitated before making the final shot. Part of me wanted him to fully understand what happened. When he'd been coughing out blood, I ended his suffering with one more to the head. At least he won't become one of the stranded now. I thought it would feel distant. I thought it would feel different, like it would change me. But this place had already done that. I don't care that Rob is dead. I only did what was necessary to survive. The funny thing is, he was right. We should have stayed on the nice paved streets where it was safe. There's much worse things out here than death. After leaving Rob's corpse behind, it took 5 hours to find the next dirt road. It was a long, miserable day, but just to be safe, I turned back to waste some gas. My heart was set on getting to a station with beer and midnight. I didn't know what kind of trouble I was going into, and honestly I didn't care. At 12:03, I drove onto the dirt road, and my high beams revealed a horde of stranded behind the tree line. I didn't slow down, and they didn't come out. They only want easy targets. Unfortunately, I miscalculated how quickly the gaslight would turn on. Less than 20 minutes later, I was still going when a loud roar rattled my windows, followed by a shrill cry of captured prey. Reality began to set in as I realized how foolish my plan had been. Moments later, the low rumble of thunder sounded, and only when it was joined by the violent cracks of breaking limbs did I understand it wasn't thunder at all. Whatever hunts these roads at night found me. I heard it break through the tree line, but I couldn't force myself to look in the mirror. I knew it would be game over if I did. The roads are much smaller in Stage 2, meaning I had to drive slower. My full focus was on navigating the curvy roads as quickly as possible without losing control. I didn't even hear the low fuel light, but when that bright, beautiful gas station appeared around the next bend, I almost crashed into the pump. Parking as close to the door as possible, I threw myself from the truck without even turning off the engine. I was inside and under the counter for a solid 10 minutes before realizing everything had gone quiet. Very carefully, I crawled to a window and peered outside. It looked like several stranded had been fused together to form this thing. Only its head was visible in the station lights. The rest was thankfully concealed in a sea of darkness. Its shape was far smaller than expected after hearing the sounds it made, but its face was the most grotesque thing I have ever seen. Its mouth was lost beneath masses of pasty white skin that looked like pure scar tissue, and I can't get the look of its single glassy eye out of my mind. There was only a gaping black hole where the other used to be. Apparently the stations work as safe zones. I knew it saw me, but it didn't come any closer. After vomiting, I worked up the courage to test my theory and stepped outside to turn off the truck. The figure didn't move. That made me feel safe enough to finally look around the store. I helped myself to 6 packs of Coors and Cheetos and tore through the junk food like a death row inmate. I'm not ashamed to admit I'm fairly drunk. I wonder if it's possible to fill up with just enough gas to be empty before nightfall. That may be my only chance to make it to Stage 3. There's no way I could have outrun that thing all night. Hell, that's a brilliant idea. If it works, I could use that strategy the whole way home. It would give me an entire week to search before the store is closed again. Holy shit, I finally see a light at the end of this miserable tunnel. I'm going to get a very good night's sleep and hit the road at first light. Next Saturday. I guess I dropped the ball on keeping a record of time in the back roads, but too bad. No one will ever see this anyway. And this has been the worst week of my life. The things I've had to do to survive are unspeakable. I only opened this to say I'm quitting. If someone finds this one day, great. If not, I don't really care. My plan to only fill half the tank worked great, but it took 3 days to find a grass trail. Once I did, I never dreamed I would have survived long enough to find another store. But now that I have, I'm not leaving. The creatures in this stage don't give a damn if it's day or night. They're hungry. I would rather face the devil himself than walk out that door again. There are things out there that make the one-eyed monster look like a kitten. I'm done. Today is Saturday, and it's almost midnight. I'm gonna hit upload even though I know it won't work. But just in case, my name was Jesse Palmer. Fuck the back roads. Ah, that was so good! Oh, ooh. Oh, ooh. Ooh, Oh, credit goes to Paige Turner. This is so good. Paige, if you ever come across this video, this was so good. This is so good, and it was uploaded today. It was uploaded today. This is so good. Oh, that's terrifying. This is one of the reasons why I don't drive. It's one of the reasons I don't drive. Oh my gosh, that's so terrifying. You guys. Ooh. That was so good. That was so good. Oh. Oh wow, that was so good. Can't believe it. That was nice. Oh. Okay. We're gonna pick another one. We're gonna pick another one. That was so good. That was so good. Let's see. Let's see if we can find another one. Another one. That was good. What do you guys think of that one? That was super good. That was super good. I liked that one. That made me feel creeped out. It made me feel like I never want to learn how to drive. Oh no, because I'm the type of person that would absolutely get lost so easily. I would get lost so easily. I get lost easily just walking. Oh no. Ah, that was so good. That was so good. Oh. Okay. Let's see if we find another. See if we find another one. Let's see. I'm looking through the list to see if we can find a good one. Yeah. I heard about the Left Right game. I heard about that one. I'm just searching through the list. There's a lot of really good ones here. Hold on. Let me see. There's a whole bunch. Oh, thank you, Jack. I'm glad you like hearing me read. Let's see. Hold on. Let me see. There's one here that I'm seeing. Hold on. Just take a quick look at it. Make sure it's good. But guys, this is really good. I enjoy reading creepypastas. They're so fun. They're just so much fun. Okay. I think I can read this one. I think this one I can read. It's called The Chimney Man. Let's see. The Chimney Man, written by Pen Phantom 13. Pen Phantom 13. Nice. That's actually a really cool username. Hold on. Wait. The Chimney Man. Okay. Let's see. You guys ready? I'm gonna take a quick drink of water, real quick. Refreshing. Okay. Let's go. The Chimney Man. My dad built his dream cabin in the South Ozarks back in 1991, a reward to himself for achieving early retirement. The damn thing took nearly a year to build, with the county having to actually build the road to my family's property at the top of a small mountain. I was 14 at the time, and yes, we were wealthy, but the cabin didn't reflect that. It was simple, unlike most of the monstrosities you see in places like Aspen these days. And at that age, I was ruined into thinking that I'd rather live in the city, where I'd have an easier time being spoiled rotten. I despised being there, to say the least. We moved into the cabin in midwinter, a couple of weeks before Christmas. Everyone was excited, except me, to be moving in to enjoy Christmas morning in front of a big-ass fireplace my dad gloated over. Amelia, my little sister, was 6 at the time, and she was elated that Santa would have had such an easy entry point. Our old house didn't even have a chimney. Looking back, the first day was an omen. There was no way we could have known. We pulled up to the cabin around noon on December 12th, my sister playing Kirby Dream Land on her Game Boy, and me listening to Nirvana on my Walkman. Again, I was not excited. Mom and Dad were chipper, as usual, and it was grating on my nerves. My dad wouldn't shut up about how he had the fireplace hooked up to the central system so that all the heat would be distributed evenly throughout the house. We all began unloading what we had in the back of the Bronco. Everything else had Everything else had been moved in, at great expense, a few days before. My father's annoyingly happy face drooped into a mild frown when he shouldered open the front door. Looks like the movers didn't care too much about the new carpet, he said sarcastically. There in the living room, starting where the wood floor ended and from the foyer, was a trail of footprints in the carpet, apparently made with soot, leading from just in the front of the entry, to the fireplace, to the back door. I snorted at my father's comments, which earned me a side-eye for the ages from my mom. We sat down when we were carrying in our respective rooms, and of course I was tasked with cleaning up the mess, while my dad called the moving company to complain. While I was scrubbing and fuming, it occurred to me that if the footprints were in fact soot, that it would be hard to explain why the fireplace had already been in use in a brand new cabin. At the time, I assumed that it had to have been a test run by the builder to ensure everything was working in order. It took me about an hour to bring the carpet to my parents' satisfaction, and then I promptly went to my new room to continue wallowing in my teenage angst. That night, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched in the shower, and that someone was standing just on the other side of the curtain. I tried to ignore it, but the feeling worsened when I closed my eyes to wash my hair and face. Finally, I pulled back the curtain, feeling foolish for being such a wimp. Of course I found nothing unusual. I wrote my paranoia off as just being pissed off from the move and didn't think much of it. I didn't have another strange encounter for several days, but about a week after I got the shower stalker vibe, Amelia let my mom and I know about her new friend at the breakfast table. "How did everyone sleep last night?" my mother asked, trying to get through my solemn disdain. Fine, I replied, through a mouthful of scrambled eggs. "I played with the man behind the curtain," Amelia exclaimed. "I told him that he would be in big trouble if he kept getting the rug dirty." "Oh, that's wonderful, honey," my mom said. "I'm glad you've made a friend. Tell him I said thank you for not getting any more stains on the carpet." It made me bitter, listening to my mom placate my sister while I was in social isolation. Mom just kept sipping her coffee and reading the newspaper that Dad paid extra to have delivered out that far in the wilderness. There was no fear in my sister's voice, and neither of us even remotely considered the possibility that her new friend was anything more than imaginary. Later that day, I was taking some folded laundry to my sister's room. I put it in her drawer, turned to walk, and I saw them. 2 charcoal shoe prints under the window curtain, as if someone had been hiding there. Initially, I disregarded them as leftovers from the moving crew, just like the others. I ignored them. Let Mom clean them up, I thought to myself, but it kept nagging at me. I'd help Amelia get settled into her room, and I would have noticed them. They weren't there before. I still don't know why, but I never told my parents about them. I ultimately did go back to clean them up and carried on. Amelia surely had made them somehow as a part of her relationship with her new friend. That night, December 23rd, I had trouble sleeping. This feeling that I was being watched had returned shortly after the discovery in Amelia's room, and hadn't been able to shake it. I hadn't admitted to myself yet, but a microscopic part of my imagination had begun to suspect something amiss. At 14, I still hadn't quite squashed my fear of ghosts. I kept looking across the room, into the back of my open closet, half expecting someone to be standing there, their shoes covered in black dust. I felt shame for being scared, but finally I drifted off sometime around midnight. I still can't remember what woke me. I just know that my sheets were damp with sweat when I came to. I felt again that I was being watched, and I began screaming in the dark room through my blurry, just waking up vision. I followed my curtains down to the floor and saw them, soiled black feet poking out from beneath them. I jumped a bit, and then rubbed my eyes and looked back. There were no shoes, but the curtain was moving ever so slightly. I looked at my closet door, which had been shut without a sound. Cowering, I pulled the blankets over my head, knowing that if I pulled them down, something would be there, sitting at the end of my bed. After a while, I tried to sleep, but couldn't. Of course, I was blamed the next day for the dirty tracks to and from my room. They began and ended in the front of our fireplace just like the first time, but they clearly led to my room, closet, and back. My parents gave me a big speech about how I need to accept my new circumstances and start treating everyone and everything with a lot more respect. I didn't have the energy to fight with them. All I could think about were the footprints and the thing that had spent the night with me. I just rolled my eyes and accepted my punishment. Clean up the prints, and then no Walkman until I straightened up. It wasn't like they'd believe me, so why say anything? I scrubbed the carpets that day in a daze, remembering what Amelia had said a few days before at breakfast. My thoughts raced for rational explanations, but I kept arriving at this strange amalgamation of ghosts and Santa Claus. Despite everything going on, I still had Christmas morning on my mind, just like anyone at that age. Yet by the time I had finished cleaning, I had resigned myself to try and sort out what was going on. I would start with my sister. That night, after an almost silent dinner, I went to Amelia's room to do some gentle prying. As I rounded the doorframe, I found her staring up the ceiling vent. The floor around her bed was covered in that morning's newspaper. "What's all this for?" I asked, trying to remain calm despite already knowing the answer. "For the man that likes to hide behind the curtains," she almost whispered. "I told him that I would keep the floor clean. He doesn't like leaving tracks because he's afraid I'll have to leave if Mommy and Daddy find out about him. He said that if I did that for him, he'd take me to visit his house. He said that there are lots of kids there I could play with." All of this she said as a matter of fact, as if she and the man had been friends for years, and I should know these things. I almost lost what little cool I had left, my eyes widening and my mouth opening to scorn her for being so naive. But I caught myself, resolving to try and solve the mystery on my own without shaming a 6-year-old. As appalling as it was, I decided to use my sister as bait, to catch whatever, was leaving the damn footprints in the carpet and possibly planning a kidnapping. "Okay," I began. "Just make sure you tell Mom and Dad that all the newspapers with watercolors or something. That way they don't get suspicious." "I will," she replied, enthusiastically. Thank God Amelia was 6 and didn't need a lot of explanation. I left her room with terrified curiosity, wondering what Christmas Eve would have in store. For it seemed to be the 100th time I lay in bed, unable to fall asleep. I watched my clock tick for seconds, minutes, hours. I knew that should anything actually arrive in Amelia's room, I'd hear the crumpling of paper. I also knew that Amelia would be awake, desperate not only for her new friend to come out, but also for the sound of sleigh bells. Just as I began to drift, sometime around 1 in the morning, I heard it. The sound of rustling newspaper. I hoisted myself out of the bed, I hoisted myself out of the sleeping awake twilight I was in and ejected myself from the bed, too stricken with urgency to consider being quiet. I landed on my floor with a thud, and immediately I heard my sister whine from across the hall. "Please, don't go! No! Come back!" she cried. I raced out of my bedroom, older sibling protective instincts at full tilt, and into the hallway just in time to be stopped in my tracks. A tall, willowy silhouette stood in the living room end of the hallway. The thing, man, stood so tall that it stooped, bending at the ceiling, using it with my eyes, up to the fireplace, where the twin doors into the hearth stood open. I caught a glimpse of I just kept standing there, watching Amelia weep as if I was taking away a new puppy. In my head I was sprinting, trying to weigh out the options. I took Amelia by the hand and went into the hallway closet for my dad's mag light. I crept back to the fireplace. Amelia mercifully not fighting my grip. I sat for a moment. "Amelia, if anything happens when I look up in the chimney, you run and wake Mom and Dad. Do you understand?" Amelia nodded. I took a deep breath and I leaned back into the fireplace as I turned on the flashlight and looked up. A sheet-white face met mine. Oh no, am I lagging again? Wait, hold on. Am I lagging again? Am I lagging? No! Am I lagging again? Guys, can you hear me? Wait, hold on. Hold on. You guys, can you hear me alright? Guys, can you hear me okay? Is everything okay? Can you guys hear me? Guys, can you hear me okay? Oh no, is everything... Oh no! Okay. Oh no! Did everything break? How long was everything broken? Wait, how long was everything broken? How long? Wait, was everything? Oh no. Okay, wait. How long was everything broken, you guys? Oh no. Oh no. How far did you hear up until I broke? Oh no. Oh, okay. So it didn't break that long. I was literally just reading that. Okay. Whew, okay. Okay. Let me continue. Okay. Whew. I took a deep breath and leaned back into the fireplace as I turned on the flashlight and looked up. A sheet-white face met mine, the creature hanging upside down and craning its neck to face me. There were no eyes, but a round black hole for a mouth, gaping to reveal a seemingly bottomless oblivion. I scrambled out of the hearth and collapsed there on the floor, waiting for it to come out after me as my chest heaved, but it never did. At some point, I got up, ignoring my sisters. Oh, it broke when she ran into her sister's room and saw the man? That's where it started breaking? Really? Oh no. Oh no. So basically the main character, okay, I'm gonna quick TLDR, the main character was chasing after the monster and looked up into the fireplace, and that's where we are now. Yes. I scrambled out of the hearth and collapsed there on the floor, waiting for it to come out after me as my chest heaved, but it never did. At some point, I got up, ignoring my sister's questions and pleading, as a numb, thoughtless state came over me. I took the fireplace matches, doused the carpet in lighter fluid from the kitchen cabinet, and set the carpet ablaze. That place be damned. Amelia and I never told our parents what happened, and I can't remember much of what happened in the immediate aftermath. After hundreds of hours of therapy, the only solid thing I can retrieve after looking up in the chimney of that horrifying Christmas morning is sitting out in the snow with my family, pulling my knees to my chest as we waited for the fire department from a distant town. Amelia wailing about her friend burning alive. By the time the fire trucks got there, the cabin had burned to the ground. None of the firemen even bothered turning on their hoses. The therapist told my parents that I got repressed memories as a result of being so miserably sequestered from society at a time when social development is paramount. What a bunch of bullshit. Amelia wouldn't talk to me for a long time because from her perspective, I murdered her friend. A few years later, she began to comprehend. We talked, we reconciled, and we agreed to never speak of it. The fire was attributed to a likely electrical problem with the system that distributed the heat from the fireplace. I guess small-town forensic scientists don't know what accidents look like. My parents never quite understood why Amelia was convinced that I had caused the fire when the fire department said otherwise. It strained us for a while, but eventually I guess they let it go as Amelia's vivid imagination. The day after, we were allowed to sift through the smoldering rubble to try to salvage anything we could. All that we found were a set of footprints that led into the woods and didn't return to the house. We followed them, but eventually they disappeared abruptly. My parents don't know who they could have possibly belonged to, but Amelia and I do. Ooh, okay, that one was creepy. That was pretty good. Credit to Pen Phantom 13. That was really good. Ooh, that was so creepy. That was creepy. That's creepy. If I had a house built and was moved in and then saw something like that, I would have done the same thing. I would have set fire to the house too. That's creepy. Yeah. I wonder where it could have gone. Creepy Monster Man. I love the Creepy Monster Man ones. Those are always fun. Oh, that one was fun. That was really good. That was so good. Okay. Now we gotta find another one. I don't know why everything is breaking today. I don't know why. I'm so sorry that everything is breaking, you guys. I don't know why. I swear I thought everything had updated okay. I thought everything... Excuse me. I hiccuped. Excuse me. I thought everything was okay, but apparently not. sorry. Let's see if we can find, oh, let's see if we can find another one. You want to get a... Well, he did, they said he wasn't dangerous, but I feel like that was a lie. You can totally give him a hug, but there's no guarantee he'd let go. I wouldn't. We have something that's kind of similar like that in our basement, but he's not exactly the nicest person. We have to have like super security down there. So, let's see. Let's see. Let's see what this one is. Just waiting for the page to load. Give me a moment. How's everyone doing today, by the way? How's everyone's day going? I woke up not too long ago, so for me, my day is just starting. But how's everyone else's day going? Is everyone having a good day? A good night? A good evening? A good afternoon? I hope so. I hope so. Ooh, this one's a really long one. Oh boy. Okay, I found a really long one. Are you guys interested in hearing the shorter ones, or do you want to hear a really long one? Guys, let me know. I need to know. Would you guys like to hear a longer story, or do you want like the one we had before, which was shorter? Okay, I'm okay with either. But I want to know what you guys like more. Because this one is about a 20 minute read. And the other one was about 9 minutes, but I went through that one pretty quickly. So it's up to you guys. It's up to you. What you guys think? Oh, thank you, Joelle. You gotta go. It's okay. You go do what you gotta do. I'm happy you were able to stay here for a little while. Thank you. I have plenty of time. I think I can do this. I think I can do it, but it's up to you. Oh, you can stay? Okay, I thought you were leaving. I'm sorry. I thought you were leaving. I don't know. Because, I don't know. That's why I'm asking you guys. I don't know. It's up to you. It's up to you. Awesome! That means you can stay for the whole stream. That's so great. I love that. Ooh, here's one. I'm just looking at a couple of stories to see. Okay, I found another one. Not as long, but it's longer, but not as long. Hold on. Okay. Okay. This one's kind of creepy. This one looks like it's gonna be kind of creepy. Hold on. It's called I Found a Letter from My Stalker, written by Minister of Owls. Hold on. Let's go. Okay. I found this note nailed onto a tree on my front lawn. I really don't know how to describe it. I'll just let you read it yourself. Note start. I saw you today. It was your birthday. You didn't see me. You hardly ever do these days. Your skin looks so nice and healthy, and your eyes, they were the most beautiful I'd ever seen them. You've grown so much. I remember how different you used to look when you were younger. I remember the first day I met you. It was 4 years ago. I was sitting at my desk, head down, listening to the teacher rattle off names for attendance. The teacher called out a name I didn't recognize, and a stranger's voice answered behind me. Was there a new student? The teacher didn't pause for a second, just continued calling out name after name. I turned my head to where the voice had come from. I saw you, a pale thing, so thin, your eyes so red, at a seat that should have been empty. I saw the fireflies flying around you, flickering. Dozens of them, never straying far from you. I saw them going through you and coming out through your skin, like you were a mist to them. Can you believe I thought you were a ghost? No one else seemed to acknowledge the new stranger sitting at the back of the class. Class after class, hour after hour passed as I waited for something to happen, for someone to notice you, for you to leave, for you to let out a ghoulish scream and claw at me in the horror story I was certain I was in, but nothing happened. Teachers came and went, my classmates laughed and slept, and you just sat there. The bell rang for recess. The other kids ran to their mundanities for the day, leaving me and you together in the empty classroom. You stood up and pulled the chair from the desk next to you, making it face your desk. You turned your head to me and spoke. Well, you're slow today. Come on, ask your question. I don't know why I didn't run away screaming at that moment. Probably would have turned out better for me in the long run, but let's not speculate. I guess at that point in my life, I was pretty bloody lonely. I figured there was only a 50-50 chance you'd eat me, and the other 50 was that someone wanted to talk to me. Kids' priorities don't make sense to me either these days. So I went along with the flow. I walked over to your desk, sat down in a chair you pulled for me, and asked my question. What were you? You told me you didn't know. You said that once you were a child, just like me, with parents and friends. You used to go to the same school as me. Then one ordinary day, when you were 10, you just woke up and you were like this, covered in fireflies, and no one could remember you the moment they concentrated on anything else. No one, not even your parents. You told me of how I noticed you every day. How I'd think of you until recess every day. How I'd come to you every day. How we would talk every day. How we would meet for the first time every day for the last 3 years. About how I'd forget the instant I walked out of the room. How everyone would forget you. How the fireflies would make them. How for the last 3 years you'd been alone. Your story was very hard to believe, so I didn't. I asked what reality prank show I was on. You looked, well, unimpressed, and asked me to continue telling my story. I was caught off guard by the non sequitur. You said last time I was here, I was telling you a horror story about a haunted house. As you detailed the story, goosebumps prickled at my skin. It was a story I'd been making up in my head, a story I hadn't told anyone yet. At that moment, a million reactions were open to me, all simultaneously adequate and inadequate. The only thing that seemed proper was to finish the story for you. So I did. Halfway through, you interrupted me to ask if my mother had recovered from her sickness yet. I had to shake my head, a bit ashamed at the fact that I shared this private matter to a stranger. The story ended a few minutes before recess. My next class was in another room. You told me to go. Your steadiness took me aback. You seemed so accepting of your fate, like you've already gotten used to the idea of being forgotten forever. I was a kid back then. I wasn't a particularly smart kid, and I was probably on the onset of a crush. So you can excuse what I did next as an example of my childhood stupidity. I grabbed my scissors, pressed it against my arm's skin, and dug in. As it drew blood, I pushed it forward until the cut formed in the shape I wanted. Letter by letter, I carved your name onto my arm. Just so you know, I don't regret that. Don't get me wrong. Kid power might have made me do it, but it sure as hell didn't make the pain go away. It was one of the most painful experiences of my life. But even then, as a kid, I thought what was happening to you was unfair. I remember how your eyes looked when you saw that. The confusion. How strange it was for you that anyone would want to remember. I remember that look so clearly. When I woke up the next day and saw your name on my arm, I remembered you. I didn't forget. That day, for the first time, we had a conversation that wasn't so one-sided. You said no one had ever done anything like that before, and suggested I might have a mental illness. I won't deny it. That drew a little blood. As we talked, a creeping thought came into my head. Did you prefer it when I didn't remember? That night, I was sitting up on my bed, staring at your name on my arm, wondering if I should cover it up so I couldn't see it, and give you back your privacy, when I heard a crash. I looked up to see my bedroom window shattered by a dirty rock on the floor. I looked out of the cracked window to see a dark figure on my lawn. You were outside yelling about how we should hang out. It took me a while to get used to how bad you were at talking to people. Years without practice made you quite a bit rusty. That was all right. We had a lot of time. For the next 2 years, we spent most of our free time together. Most of the time we talked. You told me an aspect of your life and how you lived. You stayed in your old house. Your parents never noticed that food had gone missing, never noticed the extra room, or that you'd stolen the extra keys. One night, I confided in you that I was beginning to think you were a part of my imagination, Fight Club style. After all, what could you do to me that I couldn't do to myself? You spent the next month or so trying to leave bite marks on my ear or neck, trying to prove a point. I still have a few scars on my ear, so I guess you did. Looking back, I could see the warning signs even then. Your skin seemed to get worse and worse, paler and paler, and you'd rub your eyes raw. It was winter when we had our wake-up call. The morning began like any other. I woke up, brushed my teeth, and started searching for clothes to wear. It was a winter morning, and my room was dark, so I didn't see your name on my arm. The cold sent shivers through my body, and I pulled out a long-sleeve jacket. A small bell rang in my head. Don't you usually roll your sleeves up? Yeah, why did I? That was annoying. I finished tidying up and headed to school. On the school bus, I felt oddly content, like something I had been worried about had just disappeared. I walked up the school stairs, down the hall, and through my classroom door and sat down at my desk. The same feeling of a burden forgotten haunted my mind. What was I forgetting? When recess came, I sat at my desk while my classmates ran out. It felt like a ritual, but I didn't know what for. I was contemplating just walking out to joining when I heard it. It was something small in the wind, like a whisper, but it came over and over, incessant. It sounded like my name. I knew this was strange, that this was worth my attention, but I felt oddly calm. Everything would be all right. Everything would be fine. Just ignore it. I sat there at my desk, my mind a war zone between two conflicting, contradictory voices, when I felt the force tugging on my sleeve. The moment I noticed this, my jacket sleeve tore open. I saw your name on my arm, and that your hand had ripped my jacket open. You'd been yelling at me for over 20 minutes. I think that was the moment we realized on how on edge our friendship really was. One accident away from complete erasure. We spent most of the next year in the town library together, trying to find out what the fireflies were. It wasn't really a problem for me. Because of my mother's treatment, my family couldn't afford to go on any trips, and our house didn't have heating anymore, so I was happy to spend my time with you. Trying to find information was a puzzle in and of itself. After all, how would I read about people I couldn't remember, and how would you find out who was special when no one even remembered enough about them to record them? We found our old family trees and records. Individually, we'd write down the names of everyone in the book on 2 lists, and then we would compare. The names I hadn't remembered to write down, but you had, would become the focus. They were the names of who were under the curse of the fireflies. We compiled a list of suspicious books we thought could help us, because they were written by, or were about, the people we were searching for. I read the books with the list of names side by side, reading it again for every page of the book. You scoured the internet on the library computers, on the lookout for articles about people. Our search would lead us to the first glimpse of what was really happening to you. It was late at night when you found the pictures. I was a bit drowsy at the time, and almost about to nod off when I heard a sharp intake of breath. I turned to see you standing up, pointing at the screen. I didn't see anything. Well, anything noteworthy. On the screen was a picture of a clearing somewhere in the woods. You held up a piece of paper where you'd marked out 2 names. Susie Appleby Regan, 13. Terry Appleby Regan, 12. Siblings. For a moment I saw the paper and the screen side by side. And then I saw them. 2 figures emerging from the woods towards the camera. They were almost humanoid with the exception of their limbs, which stretched to nightmarish proportions. Their blank white skin was that of a pure albino, and looked more like a tree bark than anything you'd expect to find on a mammal. A cloud of fireflies surrounded the duo. The shorter one looked emaciated. You could see their rib cages, and around which their eyes, God, their eyes, so small and red. The taller one with its white hair didn't even look alive anymore. There were little more than skin wrapped around a skeleton. Fireflies swarmed out of the pair's empty eye sockets. Both reached for the cameraman. I looked at the article surrounding the picture. It was a blog post by a hiker 20 years after the last mention of the two kids. The picture was a mystery to the cameraman as well. He'd been wanting to go to the woods pictured for a while now, but he never actually remembered going there. The picture had just appeared on his camera one day out of the blue. For a moment I looked at your face, your thin pale face with those red-veined eyes. Would that be you when my scar faded? Just a walking horror I'd glimpsed, then forgotten. We worked through our reading list at a much faster pace, starting from that moment. Maybe we should have gone slower. At least every book, every website we left untouched, promised hope. The books that we finished and tossed aside promised nothing but the clearing in the woods as one's future. And we tossed aside a lot of books. I believe I tore through 3/4 of my reading list before I stumbled across the journal. Oh God, that horrible, horrible journal. The journal used to belong to a mental patient named Joey, who claimed to be a serial killer. He was locked up in an asylum where the police discovered his supposed victims never existed. He was diagnosed with a need for attention and shoved away. They should have electrocuted him. They should have fried him until his flesh melted and his hair burned. In the journal he talked about how he carried out his killings. He knew things, bizarre and disturbing things that no one else knew. He knew of strange creatures that lived in the woods. Of them, his favorites were the fireflies. I'm not going to tell you how he summoned these things. I trust you. I trust you more than anyone. But a thing like this belongs to the ground more than it ever will to the human mind. In the end, it's sufficient to know that these things were not fireflies. Joey would start his ritual by taking a kid. Any kid, anyone he pleased. He could take them at any time, in the dead of night, from their own homes, or in broad daylight from their front yards. It didn't matter if he was seen. He'd take them to his house and drag them inside. Usually an Amber Alert came up at that point. He didn't care. Like I said, it wouldn't matter soon. He dragged them to a special room in his house. Here the fireflies would come and latch onto them. Now, nobody was searching for the kids. Not the police, not the parents. Nobody. From then on, he could do whatever he wanted to the kid. He'd get bored of them after a day or two, after the child had broken. At that point, he disposed of them. Hacksaw, kitchen knife, anything would work. He detailed the large pit of bodies he kept in the woods, swarming with bugs. One day, I guess he got bored of that too, so he went right to the police station and turned himself in. Not on account of guilt, no. He just wanted someone to know about the stuff he was doing. Sick bastard. Don't get the wrong idea. He never stopped killing kids. The asylum doors didn't stop him from doing what he liked. It just made him improvise. He made a new way. He modified the flies, so they could survive without a host, just in a dormant state. When a child, he specified the age, would approach the swarm, it would latch on and begin its effect. Over the years, the child would warp horribly to the things we saw in the woods. I wish I could hate him in peace. I wish I could say the world owed him nothing, but that wouldn't be true. He detailed a way out. On the final page, there was an exact explanation on how to get rid of the fireflies. You must have seen something in my face, because at that moment, you asked if I had found anything. I said no and closed the book. A few minutes later, you shut down the computer. You picked up the last book and went through it yourself. When you reached the end cover, you tossed it aside. I asked what we should do now. You said it was all right. I could go home. We'd talk about it in the morning. I stood up and walked past the shelves of books. I headed for the library entrance, but stopped right outside the door and waited. I waited until I heard the sniffling sound. I sneaked back to our table where you were quietly sobbing. You had your head in your hands. I sat back down as you raised your eyes on me. You said you wished you never met me, how happy you were when you had nothing to lose, how I ruined your life. You never really gotten better at talking to people. That was the worst love confession I ever heard. I remember how we kissed that night. I remember your hands gripping my hair. I remember that kiss. I wish it could have been just a kiss. I'm sorry I ruined the moment. When my arms were around you, I was close enough to steal a firefly without you noticing. I remember holding the firefly in my hand. I remember how it struggled until it didn't, until it was part of me. The fireflies shifted. They came over to me and left you. I remember the familiar look in your eyes, the confusion. I never wanted to see that confusion in your eyes again. You deserve to be loved, and you deserve to know that. I wasn't really living anyway. You reached for me. I pulled away as the last lights of recognition faded from your eyes, and then you were just staring at a stranger, walking away into a crowd of strangers. That was a year ago. You've gotten so much better since then. You have so many friends now, so many people at your birthday party. You also look so much healthier. I haven't been as fortunate. My skin has gotten a lot paler, and my eyes hurt all the time now. I couldn't go to school like you did all those years. I haven't wasted my time, though. I found Joey's pit. The bodies. There were so many bodies. There's a grave for those children now. Without me, my mom could afford her surgery. She looked so happy. Just yesterday, I saw her playing with my baby brother. I saw you crying yesterday. You were with your friends laughing. For a brief moment, your eyes met mine. And then they were so wet. I think I'm going away. For good, I think. You're not going to be happy if I stick around. I'm so happy I met you, even if you don't remember me. No end. Sometimes I go through depressive episodes. I feel so lonely, even with my friends. I don't know what's going through my head during these times, and sometimes I end up in a bathtub, like a knife in my hands and my wrists bleeding. Until now, I thought I was cutting my wrists. I wasn't. The cuts, the letters. I've been carving a name onto my arms. I got chills! Ah! Oh my god! I got chills! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Minister of Owls! That's so good! Oh no, that was so good! I got the biggest chills! I got such big chills! Oh! 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 Oh, I got chills! That was... That was so good! That was so good! Oh! Oh! Oh my gosh, that was really, really good! That was so good! That was so good! Oh! That one gave me such chills! And it was, in a weird way, it was so sweet! Oh! 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 You guys! I feel like I need a hug now. That one was so good. Oh, I love that one, guys. I loved that one. That one was so good. Okay. I think I can read one. I think I can read maybe one or two more. Maybe one, two. Oh, I know this one. I know this one. This one was so good. I remember hearing this one. I think I was like forever ago. I heard one like this or something similar. I think. Wait, no. Yeah, something similar that came out like this. Oh, that was so good. I'm sorry that last one was so good. Yeah. Yeah, thank you for the ghost hugs. I'll take the ghost hugs. I'll take the ghost hugs. Oh man, that was good. Oh, that was so good. Oh my god, that was so good. Okay. Let's see. I'm looking for another one. Ooh. Okay, here's one. Wait, no. Can I read this? Wait, hold on. I have to see if I can even read this one. Hold on. I have to see if I can read this one. Gotta give it a quick look. Gotta give it a quick looky-loo. Oh, it's still loading. Give me a second. It's such a hot day today. I am sitting here and I am sweaty. It's so hot. I have my tabletop AC blowing at my face. And it's still really, really hot today. It's icky. Ugh. It's so icky. I'm so ready for winter to come. I'm so ready for like Anything but summer. Ugh. It's too hot. Ugh, it's so hot today. So hot today. Ugh. How does anyone else like summer? I'm not a summer person at all. I hate the hot weather. I hate feeling all icky and sweaty and sticky and gross. I hate it. I think I can read this one. Hold on. I think I can read this one. Okay, it's kind of dark, but I think I can read this one. I think I should be okay. It should be okay. Okay. This one's called "Every Year on My Birthday I Have to Die." This one is by... Wait, who is it by? Who's it by? Who's it by? Who's it by? Is there a name? Is there a name? Wait, there's a name. There's a name. Oh, Richard Saxon. That's it. By Richard Saxon. Let's see. I died for the first time on the 18th of August, 2006. It wasn't a particularly pleasant death, nor was it one I expected. It was simply the random act of violence that destroyed my life. And it came out of nowhere. Oh, you finished the fan art! I can't wait to see it! I can't wait to see it! I can't wait to see it, Jack. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. I really appreciate. I love fan art. I love fan art. It really makes me happy. Thank you so much. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. Oh my gosh! I'm so excited. I can't wait. But first, let me read the story. I'll watch it. I'll look it up the stream. I promise. I'll see it after stream. Okay. So excited. I love fan art. I love fan art so much. Thank you. Sure, you can send it to me. I'll look at it after stream, okay? I promise I'll look at it after stream. Okay. Let me start over. Okay. I died for the first time on the 18th of August, 2006. It wasn't a particularly pleasant death, nor was it one I expected. It was simply the random act of violence that destroyed my life, and it came out of nowhere. We were just relaxing at the pub, enjoying a few drinks after a busy day at work. It was my turn to buy a round of drinks, so I was trying to get the attention of the bartender. I felt someone burning my expensive suit, ignoring the fact that I may be dying. Oncoming death is funny like that. Everyone thinks that they're the exception, that they'll get out from whatever horrible situation the universe had thrust upon them. At least that's what I thought, as the life drained from my body. Uh-oh. Is the stream breaking again? Wait, hold on. I just saw it pop up. Is the stream breaking again? Hold on! Oh no! Not again! Oh no! Hold on. I'm giving it a second. I don't know if the stream is breaking again. It looks like it is. Oh no! I hope not. I hope it's not breaking again. Oh no. Can everyone hear me okay? Can everyone see me okay? Oh no. Not again. I don't know what's up today. Everything just wants to break. Hold on. Guys, can you hear me? Can you see me? Is everything working? Oh no. This time I caught it. Oh no. I think it's a YouTube problem because everything else is working fine. Oh no. You guys. Oh. Just for a few seconds. Is it working now? Oh no. Is it working now, you guys? Are we good? Are we good? Are we... Excuse me. Are we good? Are we... I think I might make this if the stream kind of keeps scuffing like this, I might actually end up cutting the stream short because I think it's a problem on YouTube's end. I think it's a problem on YouTube's end. Oh no. Can you guys hear me okay? I just want to double check. Is everything okay? Can you guys see and hear me okay? For you it is. Jack, do you see me okay? Anyone else? Everyone else that's here, can you guys see it okay? Oh, oh dear. Oh dear. I'm gonna hope for the best. I'm gonna hope for the best, cause I'm not, I'm gonna hope for the best, okay? Okay. Where was I? Don't even remember where was I? Oh, right. Okay. I'm gonna continue and hope for the best. I'll keep an eye on chat though. So in case it goes bad. Okay? Okay. Just let me know. Let me know if it goes bad. Okay? Okay. Okay. It's fine. Okay. Okay. Good. Okay. I was worried. Thank you. Okay. I'm gonna continue. Oncoming death is funny like that. Everyone thinks they're the exception. That they'll get out from whatever horrible situation the universe has thrust upon them. At least that's what I thought. As the life drained from my body, the world around me just faded to black, and before I knew it, I had just died. Then there was a void. First, it was little more than a darkness, only broken by the weird shapes and colors that in the distance. As I regained the sense of surroundings, I was dragged towards a new world, one without pain, suffering, or death. All there was were people on a journey to a different destination. Whether they had all died like myself, or if they weren't born yet, I didn't know. All I knew that I wasn't afraid anymore. The worries, the anxiety, and all my fears had just been left behind. A light appeared in the distance, endlessly far away. I knew that it would be my final destination, my final purpose in the brief life I'd led. Unfortunately, I never managed to get that far. I was jolted awake in my own bed, soaking wet from sweat and shaking like a maniac. My hand reflectively clutched to my side to cover up the wound I had sustained, but it wasn't there anymore. In fact, I didn't have a single scratch on me. Had it all been a dream? My phone lit up on the bedside table. I picked it up to find a dozen of text messages and missed calls. "Hey man, we're at the pub. You coming or what?" The first message read, sent at 9:43 p.m. "Hey Rick, where the hell are you?" The second message read, sent at 10:23 p.m. Then there were a couple of phone calls and another message. "Guess you fell asleep, or maybe you're getting lucky. Whatever, I'll drink another shot in your honor. Happy birthday, Rick." I then had over 20 phone calls and a singular message that sent shivers down my spine. "For fuck's sake, pick up the damn phone. Something happened to Danny." I immediately called back. My fingers were trembling both from anticipation and from the memory of what just happened only a night ago. Even if my death had been a little more than a nightmare, I knew for sure that I'd met up with my friends at the pub. The phone rang 3 times, and then Jake picked up. "Rick, is that you? Where the hell are you?" Jake asked with a panicked, tired voice. I don't know. What happened? I guess I fell asleep," I half-asked, half-stated. "Danny got stabbed last night," Jake said, without listening to my explanation. "Stabbed? How?" "I don't know. Some nutjob just walked up to him and stabbed him in the side." I almost dropped my phone in shock. Danny had been attacked just like myself, in the exact same place. 1,000 thoughts rushed through my mind, but worry quickly became my main concern. "Is he all right?" "He's still in surgery. They're only letting his wife know about..." Wait, here she comes. Jake put his phone down, and I could still hear the muffled sound of their discussion. Danny's wife seemed upset, but I couldn't make out the words. "Jake?" I asked. He's dead. Danny's dead." The next few moments turned into a blurry haze of information. We'd all known Danny since we were kids, and now he was just gone. The murderer never even made it out from the pub. Apparently he got shot by one of the patrons as he tried to attack another guest. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was supposed to die that night. Regardless of what happened, time marched on without answers. Some of our coworkers quit after Danny's death, trying to hopelessly move on. I didn't blame them. I also needed some distance. I never even told them what I had experienced that night. It wouldn't have helped them anyway. A year passed and I hardly spoke to any of my friends. I started to get some semblance of normalcy in the wake of Danny's death, but that all come to an end on the 18th of August, 2007. My birthday arrived yet again, and I had absolutely no intention of celebrating it. Instead, I called in sick to work, bought a bottle of whiskey, and spent the day playing video games. By the time day had given way to night, I almost finished the bottle. Even as a rather large guy, the alcohol hit me hard. At around 9 o'clock, I just passed out in bed, waiting for a horrible hangover in the morning. I only awoke around midnight, when I heard the front door forcefully break open, followed by footsteps and whispers. I tried to get up, still drowsy from the alcohol. As I took one step out of my bed, I slipped and came tumbling down onto the floor. It produced a massive crash, loud enough to alert whichever intruders had broken in. "I thought you said no one would be home," a man stated angrily. "Don't worry about it, I'll go deal with him." The footstep moved quickly in my direction. I tried to lock the doors, but they were too fast, kicking it open and knocking me back to the ground. A masked man entered my room, holding onto a gun. He only spoke a single sentence to me before pointing the weapon at me and pulling the trigger. "You should have stayed quiet." Unfortunately, the man was a horrible shot. He aimed at my head, but he had hit me in the throat instead. There I lay, drowning in my own blood as I desperately gasped for air. I couldn't crawl away, and I couldn't call for help. I died on my bedroom floor on my own birthday, just as I had a year earlier. Once the life finally drained from my body and the god-awful pain ceased, I was back in the world beyond. I walked through the same colorful dimension that lay just on the edge of life. I admired the shapes and colors as they passed. In the distance, I saw a tree with branches stretched endlessly far from its trunk. From each branch dangled a person, real but not existing in our world. I wanted to visit them, but that wasn't my destination, because just like before, I would wake in my own bed, unharmed by the events from the previous night. My phone buzzed, and I was filled with unfathomable dread. I still couldn't quite believe it, but I started to understand that someone would take my place in death. "Hello? Rick, it's Dad. Your mother. She passed away last night." A lump formed in my throat. I knew what was coming next, but I had to ask. "How? What happened?" "The police say it was a burglary gone wrong. I don't know. I was working late. I should have been there." The discussion trailed off from there. My dad was distraught, and I could barely form coherent sentences. He blamed himself for not being there, but I knew the truth. It was my fault. During the next 2 months, he fell into deep depression. I couldn't blame him. He just lost the love of his life. I moved in with him just to help him pick up the pieces. He put on a strong face, trying his best to keep the ship afloat, but I could tell how close he was to just breaking down. If only I had been there. "It wasn't your fault, Dad. Had you been there, you might be gone too. You don't know that. But I do know. But I did know. Because the burglars weren't ever supposed to visit my parents' house. They were supposed to kill me. I had to come clean. I had to let him know the truth, but how could I? Half a year passed and the secret ate at me. After everything that had happened, I still don't know how to explain it. Still, I decided it was time to share my curse." "Dad, can we talk?" "Yeah, what's going on?" he asked with a worried expression on his face. He knew me well, and he could tell a heavy burden was weighing down on me. I started by telling him about my first death, down to the smallest detail. Of course, it matched everything that people had witnessed in the pub that night, even the location of the stabbed one. I told him Danny had taken my place in death and that I felt guilty. Naturally, he was skeptical at first, but then I told him about my mother. I didn't spare him any details. I told him where I'd gotten shot, that the door had been broken down, and that there were 2 robbers. Every detail matched perfectly down to the letter. "I'm so sorry, Dad. It was my fault. I killed her." He sat there in silence, processing what I'd just told him. "It wasn't your fault." I was confused. There wasn't a single ounce of anger in his words, only overwhelming empathy. "How can you say that? She didn't have to die." He mulled over his next words carefully before speaking. "You didn't do anything wrong, Rick. You just went about your life, and these things happened to you. I don't know why you've been brought back, or even how, but you're not to blame for what is done to you." "So you believe me?" I asked. He nodded and embraced me in a hug. Suddenly, I wasn't alone in the world anymore. Someone knew what was happening to me. What if it happens again? Then we'll get through it together. He stood by these words, even as my next birthday rolled around. That death was more tame. I just slipped in the shower and broke my neck. The last thought that went through my mind as I left the world for a third time was, how fucking cliche. Once again, I woke in my bed. I called out for my dad, making sure he was still alive, horrified that he might have taken my place. I couldn't even breathe until he came rushing to my side, asking what had happened. I broke my neck, but I'm fine, I think. It took a while before I figured out who had taken my place that time, but once I heard that my boss had died, something broke inside of me. He was the kindest man I'd ever met, and just like myself, he slipped and broke his neck. That was the final straw. It wasn't some bizarre coincidence that I could brush off, nor a premonition. I decided then and there that I couldn't live with the responsibility. I had to put a stop to it, even if it meant giving up my own life. I figured that if I took control over my own fate and killed myself outside of my birthday, maybe I could prevent more people from dying. First, I left behind a long letter to my father, explaining why I'd chosen to leave. I couldn't face him in person. I knew he'd just try to talk me out of it, but it was something I had to do. I couldn't allow any more people to die on my behalf. Alas, fate is a fickle bitch. No matter how hard I tried, I just couldn't end my own life. I tried hanging, but the rope broke. Then I tried to shoot myself, but the gun jammed. When that failed, I tried to drive my car into a tree, but I somehow survived that as well. Any attempt was met with failure. All I could do was wait for my next birthday and let someone die in my place. No matter how many times I tried, I couldn't die. I was a slave to destiny, and it was destroying me. In 2009, I was hit by a drunk driver, and my girlfriend took my place. In 2010, I drowned, and my kind neighbor had to go through that death. In 2011, I died from brain aneurysm, which ended up killing my aunt, and so on and so on. Each year I'd die, and the person close to me would take my place. I kept trying to find a way out, but fate wouldn't have it. Years went by. On the 18th of August, 2019, I would die for a 14th time. I had already fallen sick a week earlier, much to the doctor's confusion. I was fine. According to each and every laboratory value, I was fine, and yet I kept getting sicker. My father and I both knew my time was near, but we also knew I'd be forcefully brought back. Then at midnight on my birthday, my heart just gave out. I was jolted awake in my own bed, and the sickness was little more than a distant memory. "Dad?" I called out. No response. I got out of bed and called his name again. I was met with silence. I didn't have to call out a third time. I already knew what happened. I carefully walked to his room, horrified at what I knew would come. He was dead, just gone from a heart attack. He'd taken my place, and I could do nothing to save him. The funeral came and went in a blur. The only noticeable thing was the missing seats from the people who had passed before him. Some of them had lived their own lives and died as nature intended, but a number of them were supposed to live on. Instead, they had just taken my place in death. I inherited a number of things from my father. Among them, I found a letter addressed to me. It looked rather worn, so I could tell he'd written it a long time ago. Dear Richard, today is your birthday, and it has officially been a year since your mother passed. While I miss her greatly, I am thankful to still have you around. I know that if she was given the choice, she would want you to live. I feel the same way. We both know that one day I may take your place in death. Never doubt that I would happily give my life, even if it meant that you may live. You didn't choose this curse, so never blame yourself. Just do what every person is supposed to do. Appreciate the people around you, because you never know which day might be their last. I love you, Dad. Since I read that letter, I've been looking for a way out. My father may want me to stay behind, but how can I live on knowing that I am taking someone else's place? I've long since left town, living by myself in a cabin somewhere far away from people. Hopefully, if I have no one left that cares for me, people will stop dying. At least until I can figure out not only how to die, but how to actually stay dead. I'm sorry. Wow! That one was so... Wow. That one was messed up. That one was messed up. Oh my goodness, that one was so messed up. That was so messed up. I would. Oh no. I feel so bad. I feel so bad for the guy. Richard Saxon. That story was great. It was amazing and it was wonderful and it was awesome. Oh my gosh, you guys. That story was such a downer note. That story was so down. That was such a downer note. But gosh, that's so creepy. Imagine. Oh no, that's creepy. Oh, that's so creepy. That's so creepy. But that was so cool. That's so cool. You guys, should I read one more? Should I read one more before ending the stream, or should I just end it here? Should I read one more? I think I should. I'm gonna look for one more, but I don't know if I should read one more. Oh, so good. Yeah, it was really depressing. It was such a downer. But imagine how terrible that. Imagine how terrible that would be. Gosh, I feel so bad for the guy. I feel so bad. That's horrible. Oh no. Oh, that was depressing. That was very depressing. Oh no. I'm gonna see if I can try to find another one. I'm gonna see if I can try to find another one. One more? One more. Okay, I can do one more. Hold on. I can do one more. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna see if I find a good one. Hold on. I'm gonna find a good one. I promise. Okay, I think I can read this one. This one's called Go Play by Jeffrey Arce. A-R-C-E, Arce. Arce? Okay. Yes. Let's see. Okay. Okay. A child's laughter bubbled in the air. A little girl was lost in play, twirling and dancing with a toy bear swinging from her grasp, which she unknowingly wandered out into the street. The whine of the brakes led in a grating shriek. It was all that she would hear before it happened. The screams of grinding metal turned her away from her beloved toy. It was all so sudden. Joy was still caught in her eyes even as the terror flooded in. Putrid smoke swirled from the burnt rubber as the bulky tire slid across the asphalt. By the time the air brakes hissed, it was done. An old man came scrambling by as quickly as he could, dragging his walker behind him. He moved on pure adrenaline, ignoring the condition that has tormented his joints for most of his years as a senior citizen. He was screaming her name. The bus driver stepped out and threw his hands over his mouth as he heaved a lamenting chorus of guilt-ridden dread. He staggered back, staring at her, eyes white and hands trembling. The old man cursed him as he went past, demanding that he contact an ambulance. The driver did, stammering panicked confusion to the operator on the line. The old man fell beside the little girl. She held out a frail, tremulous arm, covered with bloody gashes and black grease from the radiator that had struck her down. She was pointing towards the heaven when she spoke her final words. "Papa, look," she said, her voice weak but touched by wonder. "There's a girl. She's beautiful." Then her arm collapsed, falling with the faintest thud behind a rainbow-colored teddy bear. Before long she was asleep, never to wake again. 101. Like a cruel joke, God had to add one more year. It was the morning of Gerald Heydrich's birthday, and as always, not a soul came to visit him, nor would he receive them with a warm praise as if they had. These days he found the fair extol of one's success at escaping the ever-tricky hand of death to live yet another year upon this bleak and miserable earth a borderline insult, and he took it to mean as much. Most bothered not to disturb the wayward old man, even when he was exploring the vacant halls of the hospital with delight upon his haggard old face. If he ever did smile, it would no doubt be perceived by now as a mere bait to offer him an ear to chastise, a honey trap, if you will. Leaning over his walker and dragging along with him his IV pole, as he went about his business, carrying a gaily rainbow teddy bear by its stuffed paw. The dirty old toy dangled from his lissom fingers as he labored along his way, merrily forsaken. Gerald was often misunderstood as a despondent fellow with little gratitude and a whole lot of temper. There were few that understood his truth. He had lived long enough to watch his wife, his daughter, and even his granddaughter pass away before his eyes, the latter of which, Macy, being the most vivid and tragic. While in his care, an inattentive bus driver accidentally ran her down when she was playing in the street. She looked away only for a second when she disappeared from the he looked away for only a second when she disappeared from the yard. Before he could even rise from his chair, the worst day of his life was already well underway. He never forgave himself for that. Having been forced to mourn all the people he ever loved on this earth, he wondered even if forgiveness would ever be enough to heal his wounds or mitigate his losses. Though thankful he was still able to have his wits about him at such a ripe age, the takeaway was that his well-preserved memory haunted his every waking hours with regret. He was beginning to believe that he had somehow outlived all there was good to live for, and so, for years, the only gift he truly wanted to receive for his birthday was the gift of death. His final days were spent shambling about the hospital with a diagnosis of a queer bone disease, with a long and complicated name that he could barely pronounce. After all he had been through, to be slowly tortured and killed by something he could not name was probably one of mortality's greatest jests. Often his condition crippled him when he sought to use his muscles for anything more than to punch buttons on a remote in a foraging search for the damn Weather Channel. Though why he cared to know about the status of a hurricane brewing halfway across the globe escapes even his own mind. He chalked it up to sheer, cold, unbiased madness, being confined to his designated room nearly every day for 3 years. Recalling the astronomical fees he had once gotten after spending the night at the hospital in his younger years, he wondered how much of his Social Security remained once he finally kicked the bucket. Or would they just pull the plug on the moment the piggy bank went dry? Either way, good riddance. Here they just poked him with needles and prolonged his end. No end should ever outstay its welcome, however. Just ask anyone who watched that godforsaken Lord of the Rings movie. It was only a few weeks past that he finally found meaning to go on living again. She was a new patient he had met by the chance, working his way down the hall to scold some nurse for some distant reason he could no longer recall. A little girl with a single mom who needed special care for her daughter while she tried to carry on her full-time job without having a mental breakdown. She was beautiful, clad in a plush white gown with the biggest, brightest blue eyes he had ever seen. The girl sat upon a cloud as tranquil as an angel, looking down on him with a brilliant smile that instantly melted his heart. She asked him why he was so angry. He had explained, and that made her laugh. Her words that would follow the initial exchange he would carry with him until the end of his days. "Life is too short," she protested, her smile never faltering. Then the elevator doors her nurse had been waiting on opened like a grand gate to heaven he no longer believed in, and they were gone. Gerald soon found her again and had since spent countless hours with her, reminiscing on the trials of his long life and sharing magical tales of fantasy. She was his friend, the last friend he had, and a friend he knew he would not have long with. He told her about his days in the service. He was a medic. He didn't much like firing that awful rifle that made him carry around like some glorified world security guard. But he loved to take care of people. He met his wife then at a library where they were stationed in Germany. They found each other in the fantasy aisle looking for the same book. Love at first sight is embarrassingly cliché, but that's what it felt like. They had 3 kids. Looking back on it, he realized that he had it pretty good. He had a long life with a wonderful woman. His new friend just smiled and listened. On the day when he came to visit her again, he knocked on the door and was immediately answered by a woman in her mid-20s with a pretty figure and an ugly scowl. She glared at him long and hard, crossing her arms and answering coldly, "Mr. Heydrich?" Unfettered by her curt greeting, he answered her with his signature disgust tone. "Nurse Ashley?" "It's Dr. Donahue," she promptly corrected. The old man sighed, exasperated. He has done this dance with her so many times before. "Yes, well, marrying the doctor doesn't exactly qualify you as one. Being that you are in fact merely a medical assistant, I thought I was being kind by hailing you as a nurse. as opposed to how I would normally address you, which is, "Move out of the way, you dumb blonde. I'm here to see Sydney." Somewhere in the room, a cheery voice cried out, "Gerald!" The temperamental old man moved aside, and the fuming medical assistant stormed out muttering words of bitterness under her breath. With the woman clear from his path, he was free to advance into the room where he found the little girl of 5, in a white gown laying upon a gurney, her blue eyes piercing and her perfect smile beaming. Her eyes were sunken and dark now, as were her cheeks, the details of her skull sickeningly visible. She had no hair, nor even eyebrows. She was ailing and teetering on death, as ill as any could have possibly been in this place, yet she was so full of life. She scarcely spoke of the pain, though she often stopped mid-sentence to wince, a wave of anguish overtaking her. The chemo bag hovered over her like a yellow demon to taunt her with her own depleting mortality, though it seemed not to trouble her even a little bit. Gerald brought up the toy bear and said with a hoarse voice, "This once belonged to someone." He paused, finding back the old emotion. "Someone very dear to me. I'd like you to have it." She lit up with merriment at the sight of the stuffed animal as she perked up in her bed, but she hesitated. Falling back into a slouch and giving him a guilty look, she said plaintively, "But it's your birthday, not mine. And I'm afraid I have nothing to give you." "Your time is more valuable to me than any gift that anyone could possibly receive," he said, smiling, and his arm outstretched, starting to shake under the weight of the bear. She was still reluctant to accept, drawing from the old man a choke of laughter, tainted with frustration as he insisted in a tone that was almost a plea. "Please, Sydney, just take it." Eagerly she snatched the toy from his hand and pulled him to a deep, loving embrace. Gerald turned and used his walker to carefully ease himself onto the edge of her bed. Again he smiled, admiring the girl. "You know that bear hasn't been held like that in many years." Nearly bouncing with exuberance that made Gerald exhausted even to watch, the girl held the stuffed animal against her cheek and sang joyously, "Thank you, thank you, thank you!" "You're very welcome, my dear." After a moment, she flashed him a curious look and asked, "Could you maybe tell me another one of your stories?" Gerald gave her a tired glance in return, feigning irresolution. "Please," she pleaded, squeezing the bear in her arms. "They make me feel strong." The old man conceded with a weary grin, saying, "Oh, all right." And so he began. Once long ago. Tales of his life triumphs and fantasies about swords and sorcery enveloped her mind. He wove her a web of imagination that expanded beyond the time and the universe, and suddenly they were whisked away to another world. He was the bard that guided her journey, and she was the mounted warrior woman with a bow and arrow, and a rainbow bear. It was so much fun, but it didn't take her too long to fall fast asleep. He left, praying that he would have the chance to tell her just one more tale in the morning, and yet one more still the next day, and the next day. No more than a month had passed before her condition grew worse. No more than a dream away had she been in Gerald's life. It was only then he understood why he came to adore the sweet, gregarious little girl from only a few doors down. After a century of breathing, seeing 3 women that he so dearly loved slip from his fingers, and carrying on with a life he no longer cherished, he found a friend who reminded him how to love again. This innocent little girl found death before him. A man who has lived well beyond his years could even find happiness again. Through his stories, he knew, she lived ages, and through her adventurous spirit he rediscovered his own worth. So young she passed, never knowing her first kiss, never worrying of taxes or stressing over traffic or paying bills, wanting only to be a child and to have a friend to play with. Though Gerald wasn't much for playing games, he was, however, particularly fond of telling stories, and that seemed quite enough for her. She would ooh and ah, asking how and why, always intrigued, always listening. She feared sleep, and often begged Gerald to stay up past his hour to tell her tales of a man who had a full life to live. Those were her favorite stories, the true ones. He never quite understood why, until it was too late. Always when it was too late. One morning a knock came at his door. A medical assistant barged in and announced, "Mr. Heydrich?" She let it hang, as scornful women often did when uttering a name that which they so very much despise. "You have a visitor." She helped him out of his bed, and after he found his balance upon his walker, he made for the door, allowing Dr. Donahue to lead the way. A young lady in a red and black dress was waiting for him. Her flowing blonde hair was held back in a messy bun, and her heavy curls were hanging at either side of her scalp like spiraling Christmas tree ornaments. In her hand she was carrying the gift he had given to Sydney, the rainbow bear. He nodded to Dr. Donahue and said, "Thank you, Nurse Ash." The leaf from her formal maiden name, Ashley, was now lost to him by the nagging contempt. "I'll take it from here." "It's Dr. Donahue," she seethed. Don't you have a few years of college to contemplate somewhere?" he fired back. Groaning, she stomped off down the hall, muttering her disdain as always. Gerald gave his confused visitor a contrite glance. "I'm sorry about that. How can I help you?" "Are you Gerald Heinrich?" the young woman inquired, her beautiful voice like smooth silk to his ears. "Yes, I am." I... she stammered, her face turning flesh. "I'm Denise Wright, Sydney's mother." "Oh, I'm so very deeply sorry for your loss," he said with dolor, wondering how white his face had just gone. "She was a friend." "I know." She was looking down at the bear now, trying to contain her sorrow. It was a look that he was quite familiar with himself. She talked about you moments before her passing. She made me promise that I return this to you." She held up the toy. "She kept saying that Macy wants you to have it. That Macy wants you to remember her, that she's still with you. That they all are." If it hadn't gone white before, he was sure than not as... If it hadn't gone white before, it was sure than not as pale as a ghost in that moment. He swallowed hard, his quivering hands reaching to accept the stuffed animal. She took them in hers. They were warm and gentle, but strong. She pressed the bear into his wan grasp. Gerald noticed hard calluses from many hours of scrubbing dishes and cleaning kitchens she worked at. She set a hand on his arm. She looked at him with rheumy eyes. "If you don't mind me asking," the woman said, "who is Macy?" My... His words were caught in his throat. "My granddaughter. She passed years ago." A tear broke from her lashes and ran down her face. "Oh, I'm sorry." She paused to collect her thoughts. She looked so very tired. "Sydney told us how she made a friend who had many wonderful stories. It must have come from something you shared with her." His eyes welling now, the old wounds reopening within, he shook his head and said, "No, I never told her about Macy." A chill ran down Denise's spine as she recalled her daughter's very last words. The memory returned to her like a haunting dream. What little strength the girl had to spare stretched her fingers out to touch her mother's arm, tears moistening her cheeks as she accepted her tiny cold hands in the warmth of hers and asked, "What is it, darling?" "Mommy," Sydney breathed weakly, hot with fever. "Can I go play now? Macy wants to play." She leaned in and kissed her daughter on the forehead, her tears dripping upon her rosy nose. Forcing a smile, she answered, "Go on, Sydney. Go play." She imagined they were the hardest words a mother could ever say to her child. With the heart monitor flatlined and her hand was still, she knew it was true. Her mother moved to rest her head upon her daughter's quiet chest, and she sobbed. Her elbow knocked into the teddy bear at her side, sending it tumbling to the floor. When it fell, there came a faint sound on the languid air like the sigh of waves crashing on a somnolent shore. Denise perked her ears and lifted her head. She swore she heard something over the screaming heart monitor. Something like children laughing in play. I'm gonna cry! I'm gonna cry! That was so beautiful! That was beautiful! I'm crying. Guy! That one was beautiful! That one was a beautiful one. I'm actually crying. Oh, I'm actually crying. Oh, I'm so sorry if I made you guys cry. Oh, that one was so good. Jeffrey Arce, you are an evil genius. That one was beautiful. That one was beautiful. That doesn't deserve to be a creepypasta. That one deserves to be like a short story somewhere in a book. That was so beautiful. That was so beautiful. I'm crying. I'm crying. I'm actually crying. That was really beautiful. Ow, I hit my mic. That was actually really beautiful, you guys. I think I'm gonna stop because if I read anymore, I'm gonna get the feels. Oh, that was lovely. That one was lovely. Oh. Oh, I cried. I cried because I got into it. I got into the feels. I got into the feels. Ah. Oh, that was so nice. Oh, that was so nice. Okay, I'm gonna stop here because if I read anymore, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. Oh, that was so good. I didn't expect to end it on a field trip. But that was so good. That was so good. That one had to be my favorite. Out of all the ones we read today, that one's my favorite. That was my favorite. You guys. Oh. Oh, my feelings. My feelings. Ah. Oh, I'm actually crying. I'm actually crying. Oh, that was so good. That was so good. Oh, I love that one. That one was so good. That one, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I only got a 9.15 out of 10. No way, it deserves a 10 out of 10. That one was good. That one was good. That one was good. I'm doing 10 stars out of that. That one was good. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop before I get any more feels. Okay, you guys, thank you for being here today. Thank you for reading Creepypasta, well, listening to me reading Creepypasta, not reading with me. Next time I'm gonna probably put up the page so we can read together. Yeah. Maybe, I don't know, I kinda like the illusion that I'm reading it from a book. But you guys, thank you for being here with me today. I'm sorry to end it on such a feels trip, but you know what? I think it's a good way. I think it's a good way to end it. Sometimes I end up crying. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes sad stories like that, like with those kind of positive endings, it's so cathartic. You know, it's so nice. This was a great stream. Thank you all for being here today. I hope everyone has a safe, wonderful weekend. And yeah, it's gonna be a hot one. I hope everyone has a safe and wonderful weekend. Hope everyone enjoys their Friday. And I can't wait to see you guys on Monday. Monday is gonna be a particularly special stream because in America it's the 4th of July. It's our Independence Day, so we'll have an Independence Day stream. Okay? But until then, you guys, I want you guys to hug your friends. Tell someone you love them. Have a wonderful day and enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your weekend. All right. I love you guys all so much, and I can't wait to see you guys on Monday. Okay? You guys, take care. I love you all. Mwah. Bye.